Let's make my subtle shades quilt pattern, which only uses a layer cake. Now for the fabrics, I am using Gail Lorraine from Art Gallery Fabrics, which I will have a link down below in the description for you to purchase from a quilt store that I trust and personally shop at. Now with each of those layer cake 10-inch squares, you are going to first cut a 5-inch by 10-inch rectangle, then two 2.5-inch by 10-inch rectangles. Then with one of those 2.5-inch by 10-inch rectangles, you're going to subcut it into four 2.5-inch squares. And that's it for now. So you'll just repeat this to every single 10-inch square for the quilt size that you are making. And Subtle Shades is available in 5 quilt sizes: baby, throw, twin, queen, and king, which I will have that free PDF pattern linked down below in the description. Now, once you have everything cut, we are basically going to sew it all back together again. So first step, let's go ahead and mix up the prints for the 2.5-inch squares by selecting 4 different prints. And now we are going to sew them together to form a scrappy strip with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. You'll just repeat this step until you have formed enough for the quilt size that you are making. And then once all of your scrappy strips are completed, you're going to measure it and cut your 2.5-inch by 10-inch strip at the same length. Now within the pattern, I already have it listed as 2.5-inch by 8.5-inch rectangle. So once all of your strips are cut to a 2.5 by 8.5-inch rectangle, you are then going to sew it to the right side of your scrappy strip with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Then last but not least, you will now measure this unit and cut the remaining rectangles to the same size, which within that free PDF pattern, I do have it listed as 4.5-inch by 8.5-inch rectangles. So once everything is cut, you will then sew it on the left side of that scrappy strip set now with a 1/4-inch seam allowance to complete your quilt block. And that's it. You'll just repeat until you've made enough for the quilt size that you have selected. And then now that all of your blocks are finished, it is time to lay your quilt out. So go ahead and place that scrappy strip towards the top for your odd rows. And then for the even rows, we're going to rotate the block 180 degrees and place that scrappy strip set towards the bottom. And then we are going to, as always, sew our blocks together to form rows. And then lastly, sew the rows together to complete your quilt top. And here is what my quilt top looks like all finished. Now this pattern would also look really amazing in like solids, and I've been thinking of like retros or even like a 70s color vibe too. Or even heck, just like a monochromatic color scheme. I think that would look really beautiful. But as for the backing, I am going to use this Wildflower Whispers print from the same collection. And for the thread choices, I have selected Peach from Glide Threads, since I do have that song Peaches stuck in my head from the Super Mario movie. And it does go well with this quilt. But here it is all finished and quilted, and I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. And if you could, please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.